Hello. I don't know why he gotta be on here looking like this.
Cause
You
she
looking
get,
kind of raggedy today,
I
baby.
got some muscle relaxers and I'm relaxed. All my muscles, including my brain, and she got me doing this.
Apparently, you said you was good to go.
Yeah, I thought so.
So here we go.
Oh, let's go. Whew. Hey.
You up?
Well, yeah.
You sure?
Matching tattoos. I can't even get it. Yeah, whatever.
What arm you? Yeah, you on the other arm.
That one.
Anyway. All right. How about this game though? You didn't watch it. You slept.
Yeah, it was a great game. It was very stressful.
But you were sleeping on it.
My eyes was. I was resting my eyes. My ears was open.
Okay, so we know who's going to the Super Bowl. I'm hoping the Chiefs win, but I don't know. Y'all look kind of rough a little tonight.
I don't really care who wins. I got kicked out of the playoffs 2 weeks ago.
Really? So you don't care who wins?
I can tell you who's going to win, though.
Who's going to win?
The team that got the black quarterback.
I'm not even going to ask you. I'm going to say something smart, but I ain't going to say nothing. Dang, that means I should be rooting for what's-her-face, Sam.
No
You're basing it off of that.
No comment.
Anyway. All right, so we're talking about what things causes marriages to fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you can do to avoid them. Which, actually, for you to come up with that on the fly at the moment, kind of goes hand in hand with something I was thinking about discussing anyway, because somebody had posted something in a group about incompatibility. They were saying, is it really that hard to find someone that's compatible to date with? And you know what? I think that's one of the reasons why marriages fail. People settle.
Yeah, we had that discussion one time before, similar about that.
Right. So you said you had the topic. So what? Who are you thinking?
Several reasons. I guess we'll go through some of them. What I believe: financial, of course, incompatibility could be one. Of course, the infamous infidelity, communication. What else? What do you think?
I think those are the biggest ones.
Okay, but what else? I know it's got to be more.
You said incompatibility, right?
Yeah, but it got to be more.
Because people change. Failure to continue to grow together, both as individuals and as a unit.
Okay.
And then comfortability, taking each other for granted.
Okay. So, how do you avoid these things? One of them. What are we gonna say? Which one you want to go with first?
I don't know. You might as well start with the incompatibility one, I guess. We're gonna say find somebody that you're compatible with. That's compatible.
Yeah, that's a simple one. Don't like who was it that we was just talking about somebody that got married because they you know who we're talking about. They get ready to get married because the individual they're older, or they feel as if that they're older and they don't want to die alone. So basically they're trying to get married, and because they want to have somebody basically. And I think that's the wrong way to go about getting married or being in a relationship. Period, because then things arise that you can't get through together because of that incompatibility or just wanting to have someone. And I get it, loneliness can be one of the worst things in the world, but you could be lonely and still be married or in a relationship with somebody. So I seen that saying, you could be in a relationship, or you could be in a relationship but not in a relationship.
Yeah, but I think though the reason why people do that is because first of all they're told that not everyone is going to always have the qualities that you're looking for. That's number one. That's being beat into people's head. So people are told their standards and what they require are too high, right?
Yes.
Repeatedly, that's being beat into their head. So I mean, is it really that hard? And in some ways, you have to ask: is it that hard to find somebody that you're compatible with? Is it so that really that hard to find somebody that's going to cross all those T's and dot all those I's for you?
I think it could be. But think it could be, but I also think that, like I said, everybody deserves whatever they want out of somebody. So you can't. If these people don't, yeah, we said that already. Well, if these people don't dot all I's and cross all the T's, then you leave something out there for them to want, or for yourself to want to be lacking. So it could be, but I think if your list of who you should want or what you should want out of a person should be the most important things in your life, or that you want in the direction that you want to go. And if it wavers from anything other than that, you shouldn't do it.
Hmm.
I mean, when they say unreasonable, like, you gotta understand, people that say that you're with people, the people that's unreasonable, say that you know women or men have unreasonable expectations. Uh, what I hear a lot is somebody, from women anyway, they want a guy that makes six figures. They want a guy that's tall. They want a guy, all of them crazy things. Well, if you have to make six figures, I think it's unreasonable, or it's harder if if they don't make six figures and you do. So if you make six figures and I'm only making $20,000, I think it's kind of unreasonable for me to be looking for somebody to make more money, or make or make six figures and I only make $20,000, because that's one of the things I just said, where the financial thing can come in at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of unreasonable, because, like, I could be one of them people that want somebody to make what I make. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So then you're expecting it, and I just think that one is that's a hard
one. That's funny, because that movie I was watching last night, it was a comedy on, and there was something that one of the characters said in the movie towards the end. He was like, I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember the exact quote, but he was saying, I was trying to make you everything in my life, and you can't be everything to me. Like, you can't, like he was telling his wife, you can't be everything to me. You can be basically one of the most important things to me, but you can't be everything to me. And that was like an important realization for him. Like, that it's just, and I don't know, is it unfair to expect your partner to be everything to you? Or do you have to just come to the term that, hey, they're not gonna be able to be everything to you, any and everything to you. They're not gonna be able to give you everything that you seek, but they can. That doesn't mean that they can't be one of the most important things to you.
Well, in order for somebody to be everything to you, you have to grow within your relationship and grow within the love that's in your relationship.
But can they be?
Yes.
How?
Because if you start compromising and adapting, I don't want to say adapting, but you start compromising, and when you grow in love with somebody, you understand what makes them work, what makes them tick, what makes them happy, what makes them mad. And if your goals align with one another, then absolutely they can be everything to you.
I don't know. That what he said kind of made sense, because I think he was missing his family, right? And was making him more and more angry that he wasn't with his family. That he was somewhere in another state with his wife, the state that he didn't like, he was far away from his family. And that was causing him to feel some type of resentment. So what he eventually said was like, no, I want to move closer to my family, because he realized that his wife couldn't fulfill that void. So I think that's what he meant. Like, she can't be everything to me. Like, I need my family. She can't be all of my family because I have family.
Yeah, from that perspective, I guess the word everything is broad.
Yeah.
Because you can't. Yeah. Well, from that perspective, then yeah, you can't be everything to somebody from that perspective. Because like you just can't replace the people that's already there. Yeah, that's I guess that's a little bit deeper statement than I was reading into. So from that stance, yeah, I get it. But I still think that if you're talking about from a love stance, uh, well, nobody should expect somebody to be everything as far as that way you're talking. Because how in the hell you gonna give me love that I get from my moms, or need from my moms or my pops or my aunts or whatever the case is?
But yeah, but some people do be expecting that. They expect that though, to be somebody's everything. Like even the person, you got some women that you got some people that compete with their spouse's moms.
Yeah, well, then,
like that's dumb. Like, why are you competing with his mom? Like, you can't be his mother. Like, that's why are you jealous of his relationship with his mom? You can't be his mom.
Well, if that goes back to what we said about the list of things and compatibility. If that's one of the most important things to you, then you need to date somebody or find somebody that has a life like mine.
Right.
Meaning, when I say life like mine, meaning that you find somebody that really don't have a family background, or don't have a lot of family. Mm-hmm. Then that's the type of person that, you know, a woman or a man that wants that, needs, because then they don't have no obligation but you.
Right.
Because if you have that, but again, if that's one of their criteria, then fine. But then you have to understand, if you date somebody that have kids and y'all have kids, then some of that love that you're wanting from that individual is gonna go to the child, or the children you have. So then you still ain't gonna be everything. You start out at everything, but then when the children come in, if you,
right,
you know, again, decide to have children or have children, then what? So that means you gotta. That goes back to the thing of what you just said about the list, or what we just said about the, or what we was talking about the
crossing all the I's, yeah, crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's.
Yeah, yeah. So, or being unreasonable.
Yeah, yeah.
Because now that's an unreasonable request.
Right.
At that point.
Right. But even if a person has your preference, so you're saying if you have a preference and type, go where those people are. But the thing is, I don't know if preference necessarily equals to compatibility. Because somebody can be everything that you preference physically, but y'all just not compatible as far as mentally. Y'all are totally different. There's plenty of, especially you men. I'll pick on men for a minute. Y'all preference may be somebody with a big booty or banging body or something like that, and then you get with that person with a banging body, and you have issues with them from day one, and then you end up with lifelong issues. Because I mean, so that preference doesn't necessarily go with compatibility either. So at some point, you would think there may be somebody. Will you ever meet somebody that has all the preferences that you want, and that person be compatible with you too? And I think that's a hard. I don't think it's unobtainable, but I think it's hard. It's going to be a hard thing to attain in life, and especially hard if you're a person that you feel like you're on a timeline. You really want to get married or whatever before a certain time in your life and all this stuff. I think it's even harder. And I'll tell you this: another reason why I think some marriages fail, to be honest, is that people get married after they have a bunch of baggage.
Yes.
I think those marriages of the people who start off younger, I think those marriages can actually be more successful if those people had more guidance and help throughout their marriage. If they had older counsel from couples who had been together for 40 years and they were mentoring them throughout that relationship, I think those are the ones that would be the strongest and the longest lasting marriages. Because when you start off with somebody and y'all ain't got no baggage,
any baggage that you make is going to be y'all baggage, together, and it's it should be easier to get through that. But to your point, even if you got somebody like you said, an older couple mentoring you, whatever, but that's where the premarital counseling. Yeah. I think I've mentioned this several times before, and I'll say it again. The first time I've ever heard of that, I was sitting in a cheesecake factory in Charlotte, and this couple was all excited about being married. They were getting married. They were engaged, and they was just talking. And I heard them overheard them saying that they go to counseling next week and da 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 da. And I asked, I was like, "Y'all going to counseling?" I was like, "How y'all going to counseling?" And this is me being immature and not thinking broad. Why y'all going to counseling? Y'all ain't even married. Maybe y'all shouldn't even get married then if you got to go to counseling. And then the guy said, "We want to make sure that we are compatible for one another, and that we we have the guide, well, not guidance, but we have the tools to get through any problems that can arise while married. And it made me think. I was like, oh, that's a dope idea. But that will help people that's been together, start off together young, and then, like I said, at any point, what goes on in that thing is, is y'all baggage, and it's y'all situations to work through. So that's definitely a good one.
Yeah. And I think that also helps with the preference and compatibility, because you may actually, when you're younger, do more of the preference thing, but because you two are together and you're growing together, you actually become more and more compatible, more and more alike.
Yeah.
And so that even helps a person to get what they prefer, the preference wise and compatibility. Hey fam, how are you? So that's important.
And the other one, what did I say? The financial
thing?
So I seen a video too. It was I forgot what type of video it was, but it said that things that need to be discussed are hard things starting out in the dating stage and dating round, which is true. Like, you need to discuss how many kids you want, what type of cleanliness habits you have, what's your goals financially, how do you spend money. If the people have kids, already have kids or whatever, like, talk about how your kid's father or kid's mother is, so that those things are very important to have a conversation. But from the financial aspect, that destroys a lot of marriages, because either, I don't, for what I've seen, I can't speak on everybody. Either I've seen women that wants a man that makes XYZ amount and don't really want to work, and or want to shop all the time, or times get hard with the bills, and whatever the case may be. Those are the things that you have to learn how to get around, and have to really kind of expect.
Yeah.
And because if you go into it, because you from a woman's perspective, I'm sorry, like, she like to get on men, I'm gonna stay on women. So from a woman's perspective, if you want a man that makes six figures, and then he goes and makes six figures, and then he loses his job, but you're only making 20, 30, 40, whatever your thousand, and y'all got this lifestyle, you have to understand that at that point, that man's going to be depressed. That man, especially if he can't get no job, that man's going to be depressed. He's going to have all kind of things going on. So what do you do at that point? So do you just up and leave and go try to find another man making six figures? So, like, all of that has to be discussed, because, like, if I'm making XYZ amount of money and you're making considerably less than me, then I need to know what we're going to do if I get out of work and can't find another job, or how is that going to affect you? What is that going so
how things are going to be kept up and running while one person may be out of work. That is important.
Yep. And a lot of people don't discuss that. So that's the reason that their marriage can go to crap, because it's not talked about.
And it should be talked about. And finance, that's one of the big things, because, like you said, they may say, like, oh, I want somebody making this much money, or we need to make, but they don't discuss the what ifs. What if this happened? What if that happened? What if I decide I need to go back to school? What's going to happen then after I get my degree? And I don't think there's anything wrong with negotiating that stuff. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, hey, well, if something should happen, you need to go back to school, and you spend 5 years in school, and I'm supporting you this whole time, then yes, if something should happen where we divorce after that, then I believe this is what that's worth. You know what I'm saying? All those things should be discussed with each other.
And because that, like, you hear a lot of guys complaining about child support and alimony and this, that, and the third, and stuff like that. Like, if that conversation is had, if people are honest with one another, then that'll stop a divorce right there automatically. Because the simple fact of the matter is, if I hold you down and you go to school and yada yada yada, and then we get a divorce, and I'm probably gonna ask, or I'm probably gonna want this until I get back on my feet, or whatever the case is, and that could be like a thing that I don't want to say scares you off, but like yeah, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be with that person because I don't like this, that, and the third about what they just said,
right.
And that's perfectly fine. It saves you headache. Where each other at mentally in the relationship and which way you want to go. Right. So yeah.
And they debating dogs and everything. But that goes to your other point that you said the marriages failed because of communication or lack thereof of effective communication. That's one of the parts of having communication. And even in that communication, I'll be watching these shows all the time, but they have good information on it. Because watched another show and it was saying like one way in which you can have effective and honest communication is by making an agreement with each other that, hey, when we communicate within our communication, whatever comes out of that doesn't give us the right to be mad at each other or say that we're going to walk away from each other or divorce each other. That is what hinders a lot of people from being open about how they're feeling, because they feel like if they're open about it, it's going to make one spouse angry and make that spouse decide they don't want to be with them anymore. And so even something like communication is something that needs to be kind of outlined, like, okay, we understand that some of these topics may have to be revisited because people change. So if you're growing and growing with your partner and y'all growing together, you're going to have different, if you're the same person you were 20 years ago as you are now, there's something wrong. So you're going to have different ideals. You're going to change. You're going to have different perspectives. The thing is, you should be allowed to come back and revisit those things that you even talked about before, with the understanding that, okay, whatever comes out of this conversation doesn't mean we're going to just say, oh, we need to be done with each other.
And I'm gonna
we have to compromise, and that's just what it takes.
And I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of personal insight on it. That's what we're working on. I've already told her, like, we both said divorce is not an option, right? So and then we're going through counseling as well. It's not because our relationship is bad or anything else, but like any couple, we have disagreements and disputes or arguments, whatever you want to call it. And then worst thing you could do is be mad. For me, when I'm mad at her or she's mad at me, and then I'm just now, by the way, coming along on this. Like, I can't stand being mad at her, because with me being mad, it also makes me feel a way if we're laying in bed sleeping and she's not under me, or whatever the case, because I have that connection or whatever. But with the communication thing, is like we just had a situation where we was talking about something, and she made me understand, because I was doing like, look at me, I was doing like this, and like she was saying my hand was in her face. Now I understand where they're coming from now through counseling. This is not in her face. In her face would be like this, right? So after talking to the counselor, and then the counselor said whatever she said, and then revisiting what she said, it made me realize, okay, maybe I was in her face, right? My intent wasn't to be in her face, but I thought me literally going this way wasn't in her face. But then when you're upset at that time, you don't really hear things. But through counseling, it wasn't nothing for it was us to break up over saying I'm gonna leave you, da da da. But we start understanding each other more, and we actually discussed whatever we were arguing about the next day, and then came up with it. But I think all of that is willingness to want to work to become better people for one another, right? So that's how you can avoid a lot of that stuff. You have to be willing. I seen something else that said, and it's true, like one person can't be in the marriage and willing to make it work, or relationship, whatever it is. Both people have to be pulling together to make it work, because if one person is pulling and the other one is just holding the rope, you're not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. You're gonna be like what they say, spinning in mud or whatever. So effective communicate, that'll sum everything up. Effective communication from the onslaught of the relationship. Yeah. When I say relationship, I'm talking about from the friendship aspect to the dating aspect to the engaged aspect, and all through the marriage. Like,
you have to communicate.
If you set a boundary, like, hey, if we go through this and we start dating, we're not breaking up. My ultimate goal is marriage. Well, that person is, if that's your ultimate goal, that person should be like, you know what? So is mine. Okay. Then your conversation trickles down from there. That'll stop a lot of this divorce stuff.
That's very true.
So now I never really did that myself. I don't think we thoroughly did it.
No, we didn't.
But yeah.
And we didn't do it. And so, like I said, it's things to be negotiated. You revisit those things. It doesn't mean like you can't ever come back and talk about them because it's set in stone. That's not what the purpose is. The purpose is to at least give you guys a baseline, or at least have a baseline set up. And then, of course, like I said, when you grow and things change, it's kind of like, okay, we need to revisit this. This is how I feel now. This is how you feel. And then you work it out. That's what your goal is. Your goal is to work it out some kind of way. or okay, I may have to change my mind and compromise on this, but can you compromise on this thing? Because I've changed my mind on that. It's just that type of stuff.
Oh, wait, I haven't seen that. Dogs is a big one now. You mean people arguing about dogs?
Yeah, or having this like discussion about dogs, I guess, because some people maybe are dog lovers, some people.
Oh yeah, I you know what that I'm sorry I seen that late, but yeah, that's actually a good one because let me tell you this.
I like dogs though.
Let me tell you
I
this.
don't like shit.
For this woman right here, I've always wanted a American Bully. I actually thought they were blue pits because in the hood that's what we call them, blue pits, right? And I always loved those dogs. This is a sidebar. I'm sorry, guys. She got me one for Christmas, paid a substantial amount of money for it. Dog is a puppy. With my dogs could jump into bed, they could come up under me, play, and I play with them, this, that, and third. This one, no.
That's
so that
gross.
dog thing is really, really something. If we would have communicated, if I would have knew that, good point, back to the communication aspect.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have known that that's how she interacts with dogs and don't really not like personable with the dog, like letting the dog jump on her and all of that crap. And yeah, that if we would have communicated, we wouldn't have had an issue about the dog because we still have that issue right now. I mean, I don't let the dog compromise in that aspect. Of course, my wife is the most important thing. So, one would say, where's her compromise in this situation?
Did you have that dog?
Yeah, see, that effective communication would have kept us there. I think the only reason, I ain't gonna say that. That's I'm joking. The only reason I ain't mad because she paid for the damn dog. Dog was like $1,800, but whatever. That's a whole nother story. But so in communicating, if we would have communicated and she would have knew all she knew is she liked dogs, and that I love that type of dog. So hey, out of love, let me get him something to make him happy. But we didn't know that we had two separate ideals of that.
Yeah, how to train a dog, all that stuff. Like two totally different points of view on that.
So if I would have been bringing a dog into the relationship, guess what? It wouldn't have been true, but that would have been hard because I basically would have had to get rid of my dog.
Yeah.
So
basically, let's see, real, relevant, effective, affirming, and legitimate. That's a good one. Relevant, effective, affirming, and legitimate. Yeah. That's a good acronym we have for communication, because that really is the biggest. I don't even know. I think everything lies in communication.
Yeah,
because people don't communicate. Even when you talk about love, because if you're not communicating what your love language is, and you don't know what your love language is or how you want to be loved, then that person doesn't know. There's no way that person will know how you want to be loved. And trust me, there's a lot of marriages that have broken up. People gotten divorced. And some people don't know why. They don't have a clue as to why they wife or husband all of a sudden sent them some divorce papers. And most of it has to do with, because they wasn't doing this. And that person didn't even know really. Like the person didn't know, like they may have tried to express it in different ways and maybe assume that the person could catch on and get it, but they never had no sit down conversation. This is how I feel. This is how you make me feel. This is how I need to be loved. This is what I need. Otherwise, it's going to lead to divorce.
and I have what she said. I got a prime example of. I got a family member that just went through a divorce for that. He paid for everything. He did worked 2 jobs for 15 plus years. Put his wife through school, and this, that, and the third. He paid all, like I said, paid all the bills. And to him, I would have thought like this before, prior to her. To him, that was enough. Which now they have a legitimate argument of why, whatever the case is. But she ended up out of the blue and just gave him divorce papers, and he didn't even see it coming. But throughout the time, she was telling him, and he wasn't connected enough with her, probably because of comfortability, and not even actually knowing and taking the time. I always say this probably in every live we do, being emotionally connected to his wife to hear her crying without tears coming down her eyes, right? So she was like, hey, look, you're not listening to me. But, he think he's doing everything right because he's paying all the bills. And he's, taking on trips, going on family vacations. He's never cheated. He's never cheated in the 15 years they've been together. Hell, he was at work most of the time. He couldn't cheat. He's taking kids, paying for his son to have extra curriculum activities and all of that while she's in school. And then as soon as she gets her degree, like 2 months after she get a degree, she hit him with divorce papers, and he don't know why. And the average male would be like, oh, that's wrong, this, that, and the third. Her reasoning is her reasoning, and she has justifiable cause to have a concern. But instead of my cousin getting to the level of talking or hearing her and seeing her unhappy before whatever to try to work through it. He tried to want to do it at the last second, and it was too late because he wasn't listening. You know what I mean? So, yeah, communication, man.
It's definitely key. That's a biggie. So communicate. What was the other one you talked about?
I don't know. What was that thing we seen on? You talking about? Yeah.
No, go ahead. What thing?
The thing that we said, the post that you said about what the woman had said about her. Oh Jesus, I wanted to talk about that one too.
Her husband what?
I can't remember.
His memory bad, y'all.
No, I had to take some, what is it, Adderall, Flexol, or whatever it is. I pulled my muscle on my back, and she waking me up to do this crap. Oh man, we just talked about it.
I don't know.
Anyway, yep. What's yours? What's another?
I know there's one where in one of the groups, one of the ladies said her husband just told her that he wanted divorce because she can't have kids, but when they got married, he knew she couldn't have kids. But I guess, and he doesn't have any kids. She has 4 grown kids. She can't have any more kids. And all of a sudden now he's like, no, I want a divorce. I'm out. I'm done. Ooh. And there's no sense of fighting for this because you can't give me kids. It kind of makes me think that there's something else going on other than that, right? Because there's all kind of ways which I would think they could have kids, that do surrogacy. And I know that's expensive and everything like that, but I would think that he would have talked to her about maybe potentially some other options. It didn't sound like she was saying like she wouldn't have kids for him, just that she can't like physically have kids. So that one was a little interesting.
That's definitely interesting, but I'm gonna use your words against you. People can change when they get married.
No, I never said that. But that's what I said. I said you change, but then you work. You talk about it though. You understand. And that's why I was saying when you come into this thing, people need to be aware that you're going to change because you grow. So even though you guys have communicated some things like, okay, I can't have kids, and the guy say, okay, I don't want kids, that's fine. But part of that communication is also saying, well, we know that as we get older, as things happen, we may change. We can always come back and revisit these topics, but that doesn't mean we're going to divorce. Well, that was my point. Like there should be almost like a marriage contract where it's like, yeah, we're communicating about these things. If one of us should feel differently in the future, we're going to come back and communicate them without the fear that divorce is going to be thrown in our face.
Well, I'll say this though, that adds another intricate part to that because you communicate that, and at the point of we getting married, and I couldn't want kids when we got married. I love you that much. Not having kids is fine. Then once I get married, it's like, hey, well, yeah, I do want kids, and like you said, surrogacy, adoption, and other things like that, right? But that to me, that's still not the point of. Or to me, and I don't know if he feels like that or how many men feel like that. That's not necessarily my kid from my sperm, from my DNA.
I get that, but that's the point where you compromise.
Well, some people,
because if you love someone, I get that but that's not that. If that's something they can't control, that's almost like saying, well, because you sick now and you can't have sex with me, I gotta leave you. That's wrong. That's a physical issue that a person is having. They're not just saying, no, I'm not going to have kids for you. It'd be now, and that's why I'm saying, like, the whole part of this effective communication is knowing that you're going to be able to communicate that you have a change of feelings and not be threatened with a divorce, or just because you change in how you feel, you're not going to all of a sudden just want to divorce a person. Because if that's the case, then people just shouldn't get married, because people change all the time. So you have to be in that marriage knowing that there's going to be some changes that your partner's going to come through, that you're going to come to just because you're growing. Yeah, I was thinking a side baby deal too. It sounded like that to me too. But you're going to have to understand as part of the marriage that you change as people. I don't expect you to be the same person 10 years from now that you are now. That's silly. So that's part of me loving you and being willing to marry you, knowing that. Yeah. And that's what I think sounds like he should have been doing. Like, okay, well, I know we talked about the fact that you can't have kids, and we really want some kids. So compromises, can I use my sperm and we get an egg donor and have a surrogate? That kid is still his at that point. And then her compromise would be like, yeah, okay, I'm fine with that. I can't have him for you. If you want to use a surrogate person and use your sperm and that kid be genetically tied to you, I'm good with that.
So what if he was like, you know what? I just want to go have sex with somebody and get them pregnant. Would you still?
That's
be
totally different.
Why?
That's
the same
adultery.
thing. That's not
because he ain't got to have sex with her to get her pregnant.
Well, what if he look at her naked and play with himself or something?
No, he ain't got to do that.
Why?
That's just him just being. No.
That's where's her compromise?
Her compromise is agreeing to that period.
Yeah, she should agree to that.
Because it's a
Thank
change.
you. I'm glad.
No,
yes.
no, I'm saying her compromise is agreeing to the fact that he wants to now have kids. Period.
Yeah, then she should let him. He should let her go get a little side little
Don't
something.
get slapped on
I'm
live
just saying,
stream.
it's her fault.
But yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, okay, sound like he got something else. Like he probably already got somebody else pregnant, and he's just trying to make an excuse until, hey, I did want a kid, and that's why I got her pregnant.
Well, that's a good one to do, but you make sure you tell her after you get a divorce, because then we go back to the alimony.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, it's crazy. But yeah, I think communication is important, and so in that. But that was one of the ones on Facebook that I just recently saw, and I was just like, oh my God, like that's crazy.
But y'all want to know the real reason or how to stop all that? It's funny that's funny that I came up with that on the fly like that because of the tattoo we just got.
Yes.
Because we got this thing right here. Y'all probably can't see it, but it says got our wedding date, and it says what does it say? Married and anchored by God. If that don't lead spearhead the charge, then everything's probably gonna fall apart anyway.
Yeah.
You can communicate all you want to if
God isn't in it.
Yep. So
God has to be a part of your marriage.
And I'm not listening here. No, I'm not even gonna say that no more.
God has to be a part of it from the beginning. He has to be a part of your dating experience, your friendship, your dating experience, your courtship. Everything your God should be a part of, because he's going to be the one that helps you discern who's for you anyway. If you be actually being led by God and he's giving you discernment on who's compatible for you, then that person is going to be for you. And a lot of people take God out the equation from the get-go, and you try to bring him in at the last minute after you already got married, and he's been like, I would have never picked that guy for you in the first place. I never put that woman for you in the first place. So I don't know why you. But I'm just saying, I'm just talking about me. I'm just saying, so like if you don't bring him in from the get-go, then you and bring him in at the last minute after you already got married, trying to have him fix some stuff. that's the problem too. So those things are I think why marriages fail, but you can avoid them by using them little simple, little easy. It seems easy. It should be easy. Communication should be, but it's the biggest thing that's lacking, unfortunately.
And I'll say the premarital counseling thing as well too. Again, because with premarital counseling, like I can tell you now, I'm never the one, or never have been the one for counseling. Right, I've warmed up to it a little bit, and it does help me see things that I wouldn't ordinarily see. So premarital counseling will help a lot of that. And you have to be open to it. It goes back to what I said earlier about, both people have to be pulling together to make it work. And if you agree with the premarital counseling, that technically will help. You also, in the communication thing as well, I'm sorry, I gotta say this. You have to be able to take criticism take criticism. I don't even want to say criticism. You have to be willing to listen to somebody say something that you can totally disagree with, but you got to try to find out or understand their perspective of it to give you understanding of where they come from. Because I'm the type of guy I'd be like, you know what, yeah, I don't believe that, and don't even think what she talking about is crazy. So I've learned that through counseling and listening to her, but the counseling even put a cherry on top. So that's all very important.
Yeah, because it's not a surrogate mother only, not a baby mama drama, right? Are you really trying to start some baby mama drama talking about having sex with her and pregnant her?
Well, we can pay off. What if it was somebody that somebody he already wanted to do anyway, but he couldn't get to it?
Wasn't there a movie like that though, where the guy actually wanted the woman anyway, and he pretended like she was
indecent exposure or something?
No, I just watched the movie. Oh, it was a movie where the guy. It was a true story too, like where he killed the wife or something. Remember? And he really wanted to be he was already having an affair with with this lady. So he brought the lady in and made her pretend like she was a nanny. but she was actually the woman that he was having an affair with anyway, that he killed the wife for. It was a true story too. Y'all gotta look that one up. It was really good.
I'm gonna look up some shit you ain't even telling me.
I know I can't remember it, but I think he was a
hey,
doctor or something.
Look at this right here and that. Look it up.
No, it's really good. But stuff like that be happening in real life, y'all. It's crazy. But no, yeah. So anyway, I think that was probably about it. Like I said, you have to just be proactive in protecting, like we talked about last week, about protecting your marriage and your relationships. You gotta be proactive. That's the only thing you can do, is be proactive, set them boundaries, be willing to come back and discuss, revisit things.
I'm glad you said that. And how else you keep marriages from failing is respecting each other's marital boundaries. Whichever the parameters or whatever that those are, you have to respect each other's boundaries. That's definitely a big one as well.
Yeah.
So
because some people may just think everything is okay. I always say once you're married, you can't live your life like you're single, and some people actually think they're supposed to be able to do that. And if their partner agrees with that, that's fine. But if their partner doesn't agree with that, then y'all need to work on that, because you can't just go out and do what you want to do and live like you're single. Sometimes when you in a marriage, some people don't go for that.
And respect the word marriage as well, right? The goal is, I've said this a couple times too, the goal is to stay married, not just get married. Too many women, too many women, I'll say women because you always tag men, like I said. Too many women just want to get the ring and get married so they can say my husband this and my husband that. But is your husband really a husband?
Right.
Is your wife really a wife? Like, don't get don't try to get married because you just want marriage. Respect the word marriage and what it was created for. So
because you respect that, then you realize that your marriage shouldn't have one of them stories. No one should have a story that and I know, yes, it happens, but there shouldn't be a story about, oh, we've been married for 20 years and through these 20 years we've been through everything. Like, what did we say? The situations may be hard, but your marriage shouldn't be hard. Okay, so like, I get that things come up, but if you have for the past 20 years, there's always been something going on where cheating, abuse, drug use, you're not supposed to have to endure.
Yep.
To be loved.
And you know it's crazy. We came up with that because on our 1-year anniversary on our cruise, we was a cool couple we was talking to, and there's telling us congratulations. Oh, well, we've been married 12 years, and oh boy, we've been through it. And they started telling us all the crap they've been through. As soon as we got away from them people, we was like, 11 years from now, that's not what we're gonna be talking about.
We don't want that.
We're gonna talk about the excitement that we had, the things that we've built, and where we're gonna go. Like I just told her today, we got 3 more years until our 5th year anniversary, and I said I'm gonna marry her 5 times on our 5th year anniversary. So we're gonna go on a cruise, and at every destination, I want to get married. If it costs $500 for me to do it 5 times, that's what we're gonna do, and that's gonna be in commemoration of every year that we've been in love. Now, on the 10th anniversary, I may not do that. It's going to be a little bit too damn expensive. Unless I'm a millionaire, then we'll do it. Marry you 10 times in 10 different countries or something.
There you go.
And those are the things that, like you set, and you set goals for too. Like for me to say that starting off early on, now I have something to look forward to, a reason to, other than loving my wife, a reason to stay married and work towards having the money to do those things so we can do that. When you that's also how you continue to grow too in your relationship, by having those type of goals. So we have something to look forward to. Yeah.
So our intention is we're intentionally not having a hard marriage.
Yes.
We're being intentional about that.
Yes, because
we don't want no hard marriage. I want to go through any. I don't want to have to go through all this stuff.
Just think about it.
that doesn't seem fun to me at all.
Just think about it. In 10 years, I'm still gonna be young. You're gonna be old as hell.
Says the guy who's only 2 years younger than me.
She's about to be 50.
First of all, I'm not. I'm 47. Stop it.
Woo,
you 45. Your birthday is next week.
Hey,
stop
listen,
it.
You're closer to 50 than me. But
whatever. You're almost 46. So whatever.
I'm gonna have when they say
anybody
old ladies,
what did they say? Round up after you get
lady.
after you get past 5. You round up. So you rounding up to 50. Just
okay,
like
but
I'm
you also
rounding
get
up to
there
50.
quicker.
No, we're both rounding up to 50.
But yours will get there quicker.
Don't even do that.
Mine got 2 more stops.
No,
3 more stops.
We both
4
rounded.
more stops.
You whatever.
I got 4 more stops. You got 2. You got 2 more stops. I got 4 more stops to get to half 100. So, well, yeah. Oh, I believe this too. I don't know if she necessarily believes this. Also, laughter. However you find laughter, man. You can. Me personally, I can be mad as I want to. I listen to something that start making me laugh. I don't know what type of endorphins that release or whatever the case is, but it makes me feel better. And I don't really think she like comedy like that, right? So she'll listen to certain things, but man, laughter helps, man. It heals the soul.
It helps a marriage.
It heals the soul. Like I think she was mad at me one day, and she just kept cracking jokes till it started becoming aggravated. And at that point, it's either gonna make you madder or make you feel better. And I just started laughing because I'm like, she's like really over here trying not to get mad, cracking corny jokes and all. So, yeah, that's the only thing I gotta say about that. We got about 15 more minutes. You got anything else? Now,
you have any questions? No. Yeah, I agree, Vavita. True. Don't get married just to say I was married. Yeah, that's the worst mistake people can make.
Yep.
Worst mistake. Don't do that. Just don't do it. Just take your time. Let God lead you.
And man, love is as scary as it is. The only scary part about love is if you don't even think this, I'm working on this too. I'm definitely working on this. Everybody always thinks the worst of. I can say everybody, but a lot of people, I'm one of them, that thinks the worst is like how deeply in love I am with her. I never could understand why somebody would want to harm themselves or harm somebody else because somebody don't want to be with them anymore, right? But as when you're as deep in love as I am with her, and if those type of individuals are with their partners, I don't think I would have could do it, but I could see why they do it, because it's scary that you didn't learn and you didn't put all this effort in like that, and then that person is no longer going to be there. That doesn't mean kill them or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying, but I can understand the aspect of, I don't want to say why they would do it, but how much that hurts. I'll say it that way. How much that hurts, but
how a person can become so consumed by it.
Yeah. But the crazy part is, man, being in love and loving somebody and getting it reciprocated is even the most important thing. It's one of the most wonderful feelings in the world. And if people haven't experienced real, true, in-depth, deeply involved, consumed with love, then they're missing out. Now, me personally, I only got one time. And in fact, I'm got about 4 more years before I hit 50. You know, 10 years from now, it's like all jokes aside, 10 years from now, I'm like 55, which is still, it's not really old, but you know, it's like damn. This is my first shot and my last shot at it. So, but love is fun. It's wonderful.
It is fun.
When you don't have to go through a lot of extra stuff.
Yeah, the extra stuff is just not cool.
So.
You're going through extra stuff, that's painful. That's what makes it painful. But yeah.
And I don't know. I want to say this too. This has nothing to do with the topic. I'm trying to convince her into. If people don't know, she's an attorney. I'm trying to convince her into giving her synopsis of certain case and things that could be happening, because she's acting. I'm not saying this because I'm biased. She's my wife and my wife and stuff, but I think I've never seen her in the courtroom, but listening to her and then watching the things that I watch, she be spot on with everything that all these attorneys saying and what they shouldn't do and why they shouldn't do it. And I just think that people would get an enjoyment out of seeing her, because there's a lot of people that heard about her being an attorney but may not know the skill set that she possesses in that. So I'm gonna try to convince her to at least one time a week, if she finds times, to give synopsis of cases like this thing that happened with the guy got beat to death, and we learn more details about that. Maybe she'll speak on that or something.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. That definitely will be. Yeah, I can say off the top of my head, I don't care the color of any cops. When you do someone wrong, you just do someone wrong. Wrong is wrong, and justice is justice. So, I'm definitely not one of them ones that's gonna be like, hey, why they get fired right away because they black? I don't care. I don't care which color they are. If you then beat, especially a person of color like that, if you then beat anyone to death, first of all, let's make that clear. But the way you do, they target people of color. When you do that, I could care less what the punishment, what color the cop is. I think they all deserve to be
punished. So
definitely. So anyway, I'm still tired from watching that football game because that was something.
Yeah, me too.
You didn't watch it. You slept.
What? I told you
you slept on most of the game.
I was watching. I had my eyes closed, resting.
And they had enough nerve to try to get mad when I tried to wake him up. So I'm serious. Leave me alone.
See, that's
leave me alone. I'm serious. Now, if I had did that, he would have just kept. He would have kept going. When he said I'm serious, leave me alone, I just left him alone. But if I had said I'm serious, man, leave me alone, he would have kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going.
So let me
because he don't know how to stop.
Let me tell y'all this right here. Y'all gonna come on here one day. We're gonna be like, what's his name? Derek Jackson and his wife. We're gonna have burgundy shirts on, sitting here like this. We're here to inform you guys that, you know, we try to stay positive, but we're getting a divorce. And the reason there wasn't no infidelity, we still love each other, but she wouldn't let me sleep.
Really?
That's why.
He don't ever let me sleep. That he doesn't let me sleep, nor. Let's talk about what I just posted too. You got like 9 minutes? Let me talk about this. I don't know why men, now you're gonna say I'm back on men, but I don't know why men do this. Y'all tell us to leave y'all alone when y'all playing y'all video games. Leave y'all alone when y'all watching y'all sports. So we do. For the most, I do. I'm pretty good at that. Right? I do, unless I need you like with but I'm pretty good at that. I do leave him alone. Let me try to watch a movie. Let me pull out my laptop and just try to watch a movie by myself. He got 50 videos he want to show me all of a sudden. And I got to keep pausing my movie, missing dialogue of my movie because hey, watch this. I'm in the middle of a movie. Why can't I watch my movie?
It happened one time last night.
No, it happens all the time.
It happened one time last night.
Now look, he has his own side of the bed. Why he got to be all up close on me with his phone, watching his videos on maximum volume? I'm trying to watch. Now look. He had the big screen TV. He playing his game all night. I didn't complain. I went and grabbed my little laptop with the little small screen to watch me a movie. I guess after he got his feel of playing his game, he decides he wants to watch videos on his phone in my ear. And then, big one, look at this. Look at this. Listen, in my face.
First of all,
look at this. Laughing all loud. That's what you doing. That's so funny. Look at this. I'm just like, why is he doing this to me? This is torture. You did. You know you did.
Hey, listen. That happened one time.
It did not.
She always bothered me. She always bothers me.
That is not true. That is not true. That is not true. I was just simply trying to get through that movie. I promise y'all. And I was just like, wait, please just stop.
Yeah, we addressed that earlier, Jody. But the trust thing, I'll say this right here too about the trust. That should never be to me, it should never be a problem anyway, because if I can't trust you, I shouldn't be with you in the beginning. Now I get people can do things within the relationship or the marriage to make people not trust them. But before you get married, that person probably didn't showed you things like that. It's just if you're willing to not overlook them in the beginning, in my opinion, the things that make you not trust that individual. So, but yeah, trust could be a big one. But.
And trust is, do you know what? I think the biggest thing with trust, this is why trust is so hard. And this is exactly why when they say it's hard to rebuild trust, I think that's true. I don't know if you can ever rebuild trust to the level that you had it before it was broken. I don't know. I don't know if that's possible, and I'd be lying to say that I've ever been able to do that or anything. I don't know anyone. I mean, I've heard people claim they've been able to do it, but then their actions have shown me like you haven't really done that. So I don't know if you can really rebuild trust to that level again. But what you do have to decide, though, in knowing that, is whether or not you can move forward with the trust at the level that it currently is. So if you had 100% trust in this person and they've done something to break that trust, now you at 80%. and that's as far as you can go, as far back up to 80%. You have to be able to decide, okay, I am good with that. Because just because I'm at 80% trust doesn't mean now that I get to make their lives miserable because I can't get back up to that 100% trust. Right. So you have to, that's something you have to be willing to accept and then move forward with. If you can't accept it and move forward with, then that's when you need to have some discussions, because I can understand not fully trusting a person, but I don't think that in that we have a right to make a person miserable because we can't fully trust them. At the same time, they have to understand why they no longer have that 100% trust and be okay with whatever decision you make after that, because that's just how it works.
So with me, with the trust thing, right? I forgot what we talked about. We talked about this early on, like when we first started dating. I'm the type. It's two ways with trust. In my opinion, one with me, I give you my trust. I give you 100% of my trust from starting off, right? Once I do that, and like she just said, I caught the tail end of what she was saying. But once my trust is broken, you can't earn my trust back. Like, because trust is sort of like love with me. It's just me now. If I give you all my trust and you betray my trust, then I can't deal with you anymore. Or I deal with you how I always deal with people that like do me wrong or whatever. I deal with you on how I want to and when I want to deal with you. So, and the other way is, some people say you have to earn their trust, right? And that's fine too if that's how you're wired. And maybe that could be, I don't know, that's like the half glass half full thing, right? Because if you got to earn somebody trust, maybe that's in their head that's making them feel as though they're working towards something with that person. With me, how I look at it is, you're working towards keeping my trust, and I think it's harder to keep and maintain something than it is to build something up, and that's
Right, but like I said, at the same token, though, if someone did something to lose
I'm
your
not,
trust, then you need to just be done with it. You shouldn't just stay with the person and be like, "But I don't trust you. So I got to do this. I don't trust you. So where are you going?" Nobody
Prime example, as much as I joke around about different things, like the one thing with me is the infidelity thing. And I've cheated, not on her, but I've cheated on women a million times before, and it's nothing I'm not proud of. I'm not saying it in a braggadocious way. But what was my point? Oh, if that ever happens here, as much as I joke around and we joke around about things, then that takes away from my personality. That takes away from part of how we laugh and we communicate, because she can say something about a guy like jokingly, and I don't have like I know she's joking, or I feel as though she's joking, not like no sexual stuff, but like whatever, like he's cute or he has a nice build, and I'm not gonna feel the way or nothing, right? But if she was to go cheat on me, and now she didn't broke my trust, and then let's say months, years later, whatever it is, she say that, now I'm gonna be thinking in my head like, yeah, you probably want to do him or something. So I don't have those thoughts now because I don't have a trust thing with her, and that's just the whole thing with trust. So yeah.
Yes, trust is one of them things that's really, you're right. Trust does. That is one of the reasons why marriages fail too. Because I think some people think that they can handle infidelity and they really can't. I think some people think they can handle certain deception and they really can't. And so they stay in something thinking they can handle it, or they don't get the counseling that they need so that they can handle it, and then it just makes everything worse.
Yeah, I'm telling you now, I can't handle it, because if you go cheat on me, I ain't gonna be sitting laying in bed and you beside me and I'm be thinking about it and it beating your back out. Yeah, I'm not about to do that. I'll be sitting there looking at you like this, and you'll be asleep. You'll be that's what you're gonna be doing in my head. So I'll probably fuck around, hit you with an axe or something.
You know what?
like you probably, you dreaming about him? You dreaming how you mess around and be so you busting a nut, huh? I had to take out of here, buddy. I can't play that.
Yeah, so some people, I think they try to put up with more than what they can really put up with. A lot of times people that trauma bonded do that. So, but yeah,
I think I'm trauma bonded to you.
Shut up. Trust is definitely one of them. So yeah, big one. But yeah, we're gonna see if we can watch. I started him watching this series. It's an old one, so it's How to Get Away with Murder. I never finished it, so we started back on it, and now we try to get 2 episodes in a night before we go to bed, and then still see if we can get up in the morning and go work out.
I'm glad you said that. That's another way to help marriages not fail too. If you spend that much intimacy or the intimate moments of just sitting in bed watching TV, right? Or like she said, we go work out. Man, I hate going to the gym. But I do it because I know how dedicated she is. And like I'm going to benefit from it because I'm working out. But those type of things also keep you stronger. Spending that much time with people or your spouse keeps
and doing
you stronger.
our marriage board because Jermaine was like, let's do a marriage vision board. So we're going to put I got the stuff materials for it. We're going to put that together. And that's going to be some other time that we get to spend time figuring out what our goals are that we have that we want to put on our vision board and work towards. So that's another thing we're doing. Then we even sat down last week, was like, okay, we need to plan when we're going to take certain vacations. And so we did that together. And we actually just do stuff like we just plan stuff like that out. Okay, this is what we want to do. We want to go blah, blah, blah. We'll make the little reservations and stuff together. And that's just more time we get to spend together and build.
Yeah, and we're going to see how this movie thing goes because I'm going to sleep.
It's okay. So now if you fall asleep, then this is our deal. If he falls asleep on the episode, if I fall asleep on the episode, we have to turn it off. We can't watch anymore until the next day.
Well, honestly,
he cheated the other day.
Whoa.
He claimed he didn't know I was asleep.
Oh boy. Honestly, I never made that deal.
Yes, you did.
I did not make no hell I didn't.
Yes, you did. So that's what you're supposed to do.
No, what happens is this. She
made the deal.
Ain't nobody make no deal.
I told you about a Facebook post.
Yeah.
And so we agreed that that's not what we were gonna do.
Did we agree or did you agree?
We agreed.
Yeah, you see, she's about to say me. I didn't agree to that because I don't really care. If I go to sleep and she want to watch 5 episodes, go right ahead. I don't really care. Like I
did that with Ozark and you complained.
Because I wasn't gonna watch that you already watched.
Exactly.
But no, I was truck driving. I was on the road.
Wanted to complain about me watching Ozark without you.
You know what?
You complained because you said I watched Ozark.
We're gonna go because we about to have an argument. We'll tell you about this argument tomorrow. We're gonna talk about this in marriage counseling. But the point is, she gonna tell me, "You don't supposed to watch no movie without me." Like, is it my fault that you went to sleep?
If we start watching a series together, you're not supposed to watch it without me.
It's different if you had to go to work.
No, it's not different.
And then I watched it. That's your problem. Nigga, if you got food in the house and you go to sleep and I eat it all, I don't have to save that for you. You should have went to sleep.
Oh, really? That's what we doing now?
That's exactly what
we doing.
But she said,
that what we doing?
But we agree. We agree, right? Because she agreed. I didn't agree to that.
No, we agreed to that. You don't start.
That's part of the reason I couldn't sleep last night.
You don't start a series together and then go off and watch it by yourself.
I don't want to talk about it.
You don't do that. That's just wrong.
I quit the show.
That's just wrong. So
if
I go to sleep, he turns it off, or you're gonna have to hear it. And if he goes to sleep, I turn it off. So that's what we came to. That's the agreement. See, compromise. It works every time.
They say happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, mad Jermaine.
You turn it off though, and you do eat my food.
Because I ain't want to hear you
fall asleep. You eat all the food.
Damn right. I ain't gonna stop that neither.
Eat my leftovers. Be like, where my wings at from the? You been ate them.
That's
marital property. That's what he calls it.
That's exactly what that is. I was getting ready to say that too. It's marital property.
Marital property. Let him tell it.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, we agree to disagree.
No, well, I disagree, and I have to agree. That's just ain't no secondary option. I don't agree with nothing. Now me and Court talking about I agreed. I ain't agreed to nothing.
Whatever.
All right.
Anyway,
thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
We're gonna go watch this. Have a good night, everyone.
Watch my eyelids.
Whatever.
Love you.
Love you too.
Don't like you though.
Love you.